What is up, guitar friends? Welcome back to a new episode of James Brady Guitar. Today we're gonna go shopping. We're gonna look for some new gear. I'm gonna give you pointers on whether to go online or in the store. Let's shop! So, shopping for guitars. Hey man, what's going on? I'm sorry to barge in like that. I just really need some help right now. Sure thing, dude. What's your question? I'm just shopping for some new gear, and I'm so torn with the options. Online, you can buy anything you want, but in the store, you can hear and play everything. So, what do I do? That's a great question. You got a minute? Because that's a lot to unpack. Sure thing. All right, pop a squat. Let's break this down for you. I have one question for you though. Did you see that song with Post Malone and Ozzy Osbourne? Yeah, it's a great song. Do you know who Ozzy Osbourne is? Yeah, man. Crazy Train, Sharon. He's awesome. Okay, good. Just making sure. A lot of people saying they don't know who Ozzy is, and that really hurts me. Anyway, moving on. So let's dive right in. We can get to the pros and cons a little bit later, but right off the bat, the obvious difference is that shopping online is an endless option world. You can look at gear forever. There's eBay, it's been around forever. You know, Reverb is an amazing site for buying and selling. You can find limited edition stuff, custom things that people made, just pretty much anything out there. So that is the internet's biggest gain. Its biggest draw, which is buying in the store's biggest gain, is you can put your hands on the guitars and really get a feel for it. You know, necks are very different, so if you don't really know exactly what you're looking for, you might want to test the guitar out, your guitar radius, things like that. The size of the frets, it all makes a difference. As far as amps are concerned, again, you can plug them in, crank them up, hear how they sound, how they feel. You know, amp response is a big part of playing guitar. So those are the clear-cut, obvious differences online and the store. All right, so let's dive more into the store experience. This is something that I grew up with, not until the last maybe 5 or 10 years, where you could really dive into other apps like Reverb, like I said. And eBay's, even though it's been around for a while, it's not always the best place to shop. But anyway, so the store, obviously the coolest part is that you get to go there and try stuff out. That's its biggest gain. You know, sometimes you can work with guys, you know, if you have some kind of like local shop that you like and the guys are cool with you, that's definitely cool. Also, you can get your guitars fixed there. So if you have something that you're thinking about buying, but you want to maybe spec it out, put new pickups or a setup, you can do that right there on the spot. So that's pretty awesome too. And I think the biggest thing is, you know, you're getting quality out of it. You know, if you like a guitar that's on the wall, that's the guitar you're getting. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You're right there. Spend your money, you got it. Which also goes to the other point, that most of the time you get warranties and 45-day trials and things like that. If you have a good credit, which I don't, if you have good credit, you can get like a Guitar Center credit card, and you can put stuff on layaway, or you know, you can pay it off and finance it over time. So all those things are great things about the store. So some negatives about the store experience. Really the only one, the biggest one, is just that they might not have the gear that you want. If you're looking for something particular or a limited run model, even some high-end stuff, if you have a big budget, you know, you might not be able to find the things that you want there. They might only be online. Even in the mid-range, maybe you're looking for a certain guitar, and if your guitar shop doesn't have it, you'll be forced to go online to something like Reverb or Sweetwater or Musician's Friend or whatever, any of those sites. So that's its biggest downfall. As far as anything else with the store, I don't think that's it. It really depends on where you live. I'm fortunate enough to be in New York City. There's a ton of guitar stores here. You know, some of the mom and pop shops have closed up, which sucks, but I still do have the biggest Guitar Centers in Sam Ash's, so they can order stuff for you too. You know, it takes a little bit of time, but that is the biggest downfall of shopping in the store. Oh, and all those people who are like, you know, jamming out to a bunch of stuff like way too loud, and you're trying to play your thing, and yeah, guitar store noise is definitely a downfall of the store experience. So you're going online and you're looking for that gear you want. Here's some of the pros of doing that. One, you can get anything you want, literally anything. They have all the sites out there. Even the guitar stores have their sites with new and used gear, so you can find pretty much anything you're looking for. Type it in, find it. There's a million stores, and then if you can't find it actually in the store, there's stuff like Reverb where people are selling their gear or customized gear, which leads me to my next point, that if you're on a budget, the online stuff is pretty awesome because you can find deals. You'll find new stuff that maybe has a chip in it and it's $300 cheaper than it would be in a store. So if you don't mind that kind of thing, that's awesome. You could also find things where like maybe you're on a budget and you only have 500 bucks and someone has a Strat, but they put Seymour Duncans in it and new tuners and all this other stuff. So now you're getting a hot rodded Strat for probably cheaper than a new one, if that kind of thing is what you're looking for. So there's, again, endless options with the online shopping experience. All right, online is cool, but there are a lot of pitfalls here. So be wary that you are shopping online. So if you go through something that might not be as reputable, say Facebook Marketplace, it's a good place to find deals, but if you don't do it the right way, you can get ripped off. People have, paid money and not gotten their guitars, and you need to protect yourself doing that. So going through a reputable source is definitely something you want, whether that's going straight to a dealer like a Sweetwater or Guitar Center, or if you have like a Reverb and you pay through PayPal, things like that. Just protect yourself online because that can get really hairy. Another downfall is you can't really do trades. You can work them out, but it's complicated. Maybe you want a guitar and the guy lives 5 states away from you. Like, how do you make that work? These are all logistical problems of online. You could try to sell your guitar, recoup the money, and then use the other one, but sometimes that gear won't be there after that. So, again, another problem with shopping online. Another problem with shopping online is just that, you can't play the instrument, you can't hear the amp. So you might be tempted to buy something that you saw online that looks or sounds fantastic, but then you get it at home and you're underwhelmed. That just sucks. But yep, those are the cons of shopping through the interwebs. So now that we got that done, I figured the cool thing would be for me to share some experiences that I've had shopping online or in the store, and I can give you some first-hand accounts of good and bad. So let's get into that. So first, a good experience shopping online. I wanted this Golden Axe pretty badly when I saw it online, and I sort of jumped at it. I didn't know really how it played. I saw some videos online how it sounded, and I got some specs, and I just sort of took a stab because it looked awesome, and everything plays great. The neck is exactly what I like. I got lucky because some Gibson necks are very chunky, and I don't like that. This is, when I looked up the specs, I knew because it said the slim taper, so slim taper for me is what I like. But you never know, even if it's slim taper and you go to play, it might not be exactly what you're looking for. So yeah, this one worked out great, and that was through Reverb, so that's a good one for me. So this part has 2 different stories, same guitar company, both online. So this is my Chapman ML1, very cool guitar. I like it. I don't particularly like these pickups. This is the version 1 that they said the pickups were made in like Indonesia or something. Now they're made in America, whatever. But I just, some people like them. I don't particularly like them. But the rest of the guitar is flawless. But this is also like a $1,000 guitar. When Chapman first started, they were cheaper. I fell in love with their ML3 traditional, the blue one, which I'll show you here. Super killer guitar, but I bought it online because I thought it was gonna be kick-ass, and it wasn't. The radius was really flat. I didn't expect that. It was like 16 inches. I don't know. It was just, for like a Tele style guitar, it seemed a little too flat. I should have looked that up though. It's my own fault. Again, the pickups, I didn't like them. They were incredibly noisy. The blue color was cool, but in person it was almost too blue for me. It was all subjective. So I ended up selling it, which is a good point online is, if you have something, you bought it and you want to recoup some money, you can go sell it. So I put it back on Reverb and I sold it. But lesson learned. So there you go. So just a postscript to the Chapman guitars story. This is before they were in Guitar Center, so there was no chance for me to play them at all. I just had to trust and buy these things online. So me buying a second one was sort of me just really wanting to like a Chapman guitar because I love all their stuff online. But yeah, so one bad experience, one good one. So we talked a lot about online shopping, which I do a lot. But this guitar, which you've seen a number of times on the channel, has, this was an in-store one, and this was a trade that I used some of my guitars I wasn't using, and I figured I never really had an Ibanez, and that was really what I wanted. I saw this in the store, I played it, I loved it, and that was my catalyst for going there and trading in some guitars, which was awesome because one of the best things about a store is you take something there, you get the value for it. There's no meeting up with someone, maybe they're gonna stab you. We're just in the store, everything was legit. I got to play it beforehand, I loved how it felt and everything, so this was an in-store purchase and a good one at that. Now, as far as amps are concerned, I personally feel like it's a little bit easier because if you have some good headphones or speakers and you're listening to reviews online, you can get a little bit more of like, how does this amp sound? Then you can, say, feel a guitar. You obviously can't do that unless you're magical, which at that point, you're way cooler than anyone. So, you don't need to be watching this channel or playing guitar. You can just do magic and stuff and live a better life. But all magic aside, buying amps is just as important as the guitars, but there are ways that are a little bit easier. So, like, I have an orange Rock Reverb, bought a long time ago, played it in Guitar Center, absolutely loved it, bought it. It's been my workhorse amp for years. Then I went online and I needed something new. I bought a Laney for 500 bucks, which is awesome for a 60-watt head with all the features that Ironheart has. And that amp's taking a beating, and it's been awesome for me. And I found those reviews online, listened to the sounds, I thought it was good, spent the 500, got it, I've loved it every second of the way, so I trusted that, and it worked out for me. Other than that, I don't really have too many other amps. I do have the Victory Kraken preamp pedal, which is basically like its own amp in a box, and you could use your head as like basically the slave for the power section, and then you get a Victory out of it. Again, that was something that I couldn't try before. There's very limited here in the United States, and I just took a chance, put it on layaway. It was only 400 bucks, but yeah, I spent it up, paid it off over time, got it, plugged it in. The thing is a monster. I love it. And that also was because I heard Kraken amps before, like I could hear them on records and stuff, and you get a little bit better of a feel for that. So I think amps are a bit easier, and you could shop with less risk for an amplifier. So just one note before I go about online. It is a great place for parts. You can get stuff for super cheap where you want to get tuners or something to soup up your guitar if you're working on a guitar. Things like pickups. These guys are like, I don't know, 25% off almost all the time online if you go, like someone had them or they're used or whatever, and who cares about that? You're just going from one guitar to the next. Things like pedals, you can get cheaper online, and this is stuff that you could try it in the store, I guess if you want a certain delay, but if you watch reviews and you hear them, you pretty much know what you're going for, what you're gonna get. So those are two things I would definitely look out for online if you want to switch, is parts, pickups, and pedals, and you could also sell all that stuff online super easy, so you can do that too. All right guys, that's enough of me yapping about shopping for gear. I hope that helped in any way your decisions, whether to shop online or in the store, or if you're using a combination of both, that's the best way to do it. I've been looking for a Gibson Flying V, and a couple of models that I liked ended up being at the Guitar Center by my house, so I went and got to play them, and it was way too expensive there, so now I know what I'm looking for, and I'm looking for it online at a cheaper price. I think that's the best way if you can combine efforts. But if you can't, I hope any of those other tips helped you, and good luck on your gear buying journey. It will never end, trust me. Later.